Hey, Buff Nation, voice of the West, Mark Johnson here. Coming up this week at the Buffalo Stampede, we're heading to all fields. We're talking volleyball. Buffs volleyball getting a sweep of the Arizona schools. We're going to hook up with head coach Jesse Mahoney. Also, soccer with Danny Sanchez. Sustainability. You ever seen those solar panels on top of the IPF? Dave Newport's going to tell us what that's all about. And basketball just around the corner. We talk with Trey Miller and Luke O'Brien all this week on the Buffalo Stampede.
18 kills, 10 digs. Received by ASU. To the outside, blocked right back. Saved there by the Sun Devils. Sear is able to get to it. Sear now with the attack. And the Buffs able to go and get the sweep of the 17th ranked team in the nation.
Nice weekend for Colorado volleyball. Got the sweep of the Arizona schools. There's the final point as the Buffs upset number 17 ASU at the Event Center. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Buffalo Stampede. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Jesse Mahoney, head coach for volleyball. You know, I saw you before the weekend, and you didn't look nearly as happy then as you do now.
Yeah, well, we always say winning's fun. Right? Winning's fun. So it was a really good weekend for us, and our players played well. Excited that, you know, we've been working really hard, really haven't got the results that we've been wanting, so happy for them to kind of get some reward for that.
Yeah, and we talked, I guess it was Wednesday or Thursday last week. The team had been scuffling a little bit. What was the struggles all about for Colorado?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, we have a lot of talent. We got to put it together. We have to ball handle, serve and pass. I mean, if you're a volleyball fan, you know how important that is, and we struggled a little bit in that area. And then, you know, we've been on the road against some really good teams. It was nice to come home.
Is it just as simple for a lot of coaches, a lot of different sports, just getting back to basics for a team? Got to find itself?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, for us, like I said, we have to pass well to win. And, you know, we have some athletes, but we're not overpowering, so we have to have some speed and diversity in our offense. And, you know, we're in the right place. I think we're getting better. But, yeah, we talk about, like you said, the basics, and we work on those all the time. And then we have to put those into a game plan and play well against competition.
So against Arizona, first of the two schools from Arizona that the Buffs faced over the weekend, it began to come together a little bit, right? Is that what you saw?
Yeah, I mean, we passed really well. I thought we defended really well, blocked. We played with a lot of kind of energy and confidence, which is really exciting to see after kind of the weeks prior to that. And like I said, we got rewarded for playing well, and we're excited going into that kind of day in between going into Arizona State.
What makes a good passing volleyball team? What are the keys there?
I mean, you have to be sound technically. You have to have really good communication, and then, you know, you just really have to have the desire to kind of stick in there. And, you know, when things are up or down, like, you have to kind of do the same thing all the time. All
right. The Buffaloes get the win over the Wildcats. Then they took care of the Sun Devils, and after the victory over the 17th rated team in the country, we heard from Lexi Hadrich. Presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill. Celebrate responsibly.
Taylor just set every ball perfectly. It was butter. It was so nice. Everything was so smooth. I just went up and hit the ball. She was setting it up great.
Yeah, I think it's been a couple weeks of, you know, working on a few major things in practice and just really being dialed in on those. And while maybe last weekend those weren't totally tuned up, I think this weekend was kind of like a breakthrough, and kind of the work that we've been putting in and the things we've been trying to fix, I guess, really looked a lot better this weekend. Yeah, I think that's something that we've been working on in practice lately, is not getting too high or too low in those matches. I know at the beginning of the season, sometimes when we were down by a few points, it felt like the world was kind of ending. So we've really worked as a team to have a better mentality towards that. So I also think that was something that really showed today. Yeah, definitely. I think they kind of went in and out of certain schemes. So just identifying that and seeing which hitters had one up on them. I feel like we had a lot of one-up opportunities, which was super nice.
Lexi Hadrich, after the Buffaloes knocked off number 17 Arizona State here at the Event Center, got the sweep over the Arizona schools in Boulder. We continue with Jesse Mahoney. Lexi Hadrich is a very good player for you, isn't she?
Yeah, I mean, she's fantastic. She's probably the most physical player we have in terms of power and arm swing. She's really like when she's good, we can be really good, and she was great this weekend.
There are some things in sports that are innate. They have to be there. Some you can improve upon. When you've got, I think about a quarterback with a rocket arm. You can improve arm strength to a degree, but it's either there or it's not. It's the same thing with a power player like her?
Yeah, I mean, she's had that arm since I've seen her when she was 15 years old, right? And even more so now. I think she's grown in terms of like being able to be a 6-rotation player, being able to pass, being able to defend. She really hasn't done that a whole lot until this year, and that's been important for her to kind of grow her game.
All right, Arizona State. Take us then. We just heard her talking about it. Take us into that match.
Yeah.
What went well? I mean, that's a high-level win for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, to get a sweep against a top 20 team is really important for us. I think, we only had a day-ish to prepare, but our team was really all about it in film and in our walkthrough, and they pose a lot of problems with the speed of their offense. They have a really nice player on the right side, the lefty, LaVisca, who she got her numbers, but we kind of slowed everybody else down, and we had a game plan and stuck with it, and we were able to side out on our side, which was really important. So really exciting win. Hopefully we can keep it going.
When you talk about a team that's got a speed on their offense, how does that affect you defensively?
Yeah, I mean, so if you're a middle blocker and they pass really well, you've got to defend 30 feet of the net, right? And if it's a slow set, you got time to do that. If it's a really fast set, it's hard to get there, right? And so for us, we have to serve well to try to get them out of system, and then we have to make some decisions as a blocker, and our two blockers, Kayla and Sky, did a really nice job of that.
Awesome. Well, the Buffaloes get the sweep with the Arizona schools. Now get ready for the LA schools coming to town, UCLA and USC. That's head coach Jesse Mahoney, volleyball. Kicking off the show. Coming up next, we're talking soccer with Danny Sanchez. Well, the Colorado Athletic Department's losing a great one. 27 years as the head coach, Ann Kelly. Women's golf calling it quits after the season is over. Back in the Stampede, voice of the boss, Mark Johnson. Soccer coach Danny Sanchez. You're still hanging around for a while, aren't you?
I don't know if I'll make it 27 years, but at least a few more for sure.
I know you're always focused, as all coaches are, on their team, but it is a coworker, somebody you're around, Ann Kelly. She's been a great one here for Colorado for a long time.
When I got here, she was in gate 10, so soccer and the golfs. And whenever I talk to her, she talks about she misses the days when it'd be us, me, Dave, Jason, Don, whoever, and just yelling back and forth. And she loved the energy. And I was going to make a joke about her, but anyone that knows Ann, the quality of the person she is, how she treats her student athletes, how she treats her coaches, she's come to me asking for information. I go, Ann, I should be begging information from you, but first-class person, first-class coach, and she's a big loss for the department.
Well, and the thing is, even though they coach different sports, and whether it's football or basketball or women's golf or soccer, whatever it might be, you all face similar challenges because of the competition and the recruiting that goes on, and so there is able to relate back and forth.
No doubt about it. I mean, and the conversations are about how can we get most out of our student athletes.
Yeah.
How she's an equivalency sport like I am. How can we stretch the scholarship dollar? I just had a meeting with her like a month ago. So it's not about the actual coaching. It's really about how to manage the personalities and so forth. Yeah. And what I will say is any golfer that's come through here got treated like a first-class person because Ann's first class.
Have you ever asked for any golf tips from Ann?
No, that's Jason Green, associate head coach's area of expertise. I'm too busy working while he's out golfing.
Sure. Yeah, such is the role of a head coach compared to an assistant coach. All right, let's talk about the first half or more of this season, I guess, at this point in time. You've been ranked for much of it, playing very good soccer, though.
Yeah, we've been on a good run. Now we're in the meat of the conference play. It's 3 weeks till NCAA selection show. We're the first ones to go. So we put ourselves in a good position. But we have a lot more games and a lot more results that we need to get, but we're excited about where we're at for sure.
Yeah. Offensively, this team's been pretty solid, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Shira James gets a lot of the credit, and rightfully so for the goals she's getting. But I think the key this year, Mark, and we've talked about it a lot, is our defense. Our goalkeeping, Jordy Nitis, and our back four have been solid, keeping us in games when Shira's not scoring.
Well, we're talking with the head coach, Danny Sanchez, the soccer team. Let's check in with This Week in Colorado Soccer. Powered by Ford. Cars, trucks, and SUVs built for America. Built Ford proud.
2 games on the road, the Washington schools. Talk a little bit about Washington State. Obviously, always a tough place to play. We talk about that. Gave up the 1 goal and just wasn't able to equalize.
Yeah, like I told the team after the game, I mean, at the end of the day, we gave up 1 shot on goal. And unfortunately, that was it. We didn't create enough going forward. We played well in stretches. Last year we went there and didn't play well and we got a draw. That's soccer, but we need to be able to score goals. We need to be able to create more opportunities because we defended well. Collectively as a group, like I said, really limited their opportunities for their dangerous players, just didn't do enough going forward.
And then, Coach, on Sunday, Washington, Ava Priest converting the penalty kick, and then a couple minutes later, kind of gave up the equalizer, and at that point was just kind of.
I thought we played well, Eric. I thought that the first half we played very well. We kind of changed things up a little bit, and I thought the players really responded well. We get the goal, we're up 1-0, and we really talked about that next stretch, and we didn't handle the next stretch well. We get a goal 2-3 minutes later. Having said that, there was still 30 minutes left in the match. We had plenty of time to get something, and we just couldn't get it over the hump. It's tough to get results on the road, and we know that, but we really needed to get more out of that match. However, having said that, we did get a draw, so we keep our postseason hopes alive. But now it all comes down to this weekend.
Always good to hear from This Week in Colorado Soccer as we continue with head coach Danny Sanchez. You mentioned Syra James before. What is it, Danny, that makes her so effective offensively?
Well, she's great in the air. She can smash with both feet, but she has a feel for the game. Yeah. And sometimes that's the hardest thing. It's just like any sport, just a feel for where to be and how to get things done. To separate yourself and to be the leading scorer in the Pac-12 at the moment, right, you got to have a special feel for the game. She has a great feel for the game.
When you're a great scorer, you see that, we're standing in the event center, on a basketball court. There are great scorers. That's something. Can you coach that, or is that just something that seems to be there?
There's a certain innate ability. You can coach the technique and how to make the runs and so forth. At the end of the day, the mindset of how to do it. I always hanker back to my glory days at UConn and the great goal scorer I was. But I think a lot of these players have a lot more qualities than I did. But there's a certain innate ability. We can work on it. We can sharpen things, but there's a little bit that's just in there.
Yeah, they still tell great stories in the bars in the University of Connecticut area about Danny Sanchez.
But that's nothing to do with soccer.
Yeah, I didn't say that. It's stories about Danny Sanchez. Yeah. All right, stretch run of the season here. You got the Arizona schools coming up. That great competition, number one. Number two, you got Senior Day coming up. It's already here.
It's a special. It is already here. Arizona on the Thursday, and then Senior Day, which is always an emotional time against Arizona State, who is really a high RPI team. So it's another great weekend for us to get results. And we're really looking forward to getting a big crowd. It's our last home weekend. Hopefully we get an NCAA tournament game at home, but it's the last guaranteed home weekend. So Thursday the 26th and Sunday the 29th, we're hoping to get a lot of people. The support this year has been awesome. Yeah. And we're looking for the same thing for our last home weekend.
What difference has the lights made for you guys this season?
Just game changer for us.
Is that right?
The energy on the Thursday nights, to be able to get the family and friends and people in town, be able to get recruits in town in time to get to the game. Yeah. It's been a game changer for us as we continue to build our facility out there. That's been a huge piece for us.
All right, get on out there, support the soccer team. They got the Arizona schools coming to town this weekend, stretch run of the season. We'll continue after a quick break here in the Buffalo Stampede. Well, we certainly love to be green here at the University of Colorado, and look at those panels on top of the IPF. If you've seen them, you might not know what they're all about. That's what we're going to tell you about right now here at the Buffalo Stampede. I'm voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Dave Newport from CU Sustainability. I see them up there. I don't know what they're powering. Explain what we're looking at there.
Oh, you're looking at the largest solar array on the CU campus, and Athletics made a decision to put that up there years ago when we built the indoor practice facility. Okay. And it powers more than that building, which, as you know, has got a football field and an NCAA track inside it. Yep. It actually helps fire up the Champions Center here as well, and lead to much decreased carbon emissions, greater resilience. We got power when the lights go out on the grid. And distinguishes CU for what they have done is build in sustainability, not just have a one and done feel good.
Well, so when something like that happens at a project that we know the Champion Center, the IPF was, that was thought of well in advance. I mean, this is part of the whole planning process that we're going to have these panels up there. They're going to help the sustainability and make sure we've got a green campus.
Correct. And building in the portable carts now with renewable powered refrigeration that we see now at the games and so forth is another tool in that toolbox to systemically build in resilience and climate action, carbon reduction and so forth, so that we maintain our leadership as the #1 most sustainable athletics department in college sports and continue contributing to a greater planet.
All right, so talk a little bit, you just touched on it right there. Talk about the refrigeration that goes on in the concourse around Folsom Field and how those are connected then.
Right, so instead of bags of ice and melting and all the energy that went into creating ice and so forth, all the horsepower it takes to move that around and so forth, using these carts now as we do, I think we've got a dozen of them or so, for liquids refrigeration, game time, saves time, energy, and money. bottom line. And carbon allows for adaptability of those facilities now in other sports like basketball and so forth. So we're good to go.
So who knew? Well, you're getting that cold drink at a football game. It's because of the solar panels on top of the IPF. And speaking of football, let's hear from Coach Prime, coming off the bye week, getting ready for UCLA.
I don't think we needed to get away and we needed rest. We needed to maintain and keep on going. Yeah, it's just like you break up with a relationship. You need a bye week and you want to keep on going. I want to keep on going. I want to keep on moving. I want to keep on progressing. I want to keep on going forward. That's how I'm built to go forward. That's how man and woman is built to go forward. And we're thankful. We're appreciative. We didn't have many injuries. I think we're going to get maybe a couple players back due to injuries, but overall, I think we've been pretty good injury-wise. Actions speak louder than words. You can say what you love, but if your actions don't line up with that love and that display of love, that's a problem. You can't measure the heart in football or in physical sports. So that's the thing that's missing, the heart of it. So when you're talking about love, you're talking about accompanying that with your heart, playing with your heart. And you could tell by the locker room or how some guys practice them, how some guys feel the pain of it if we don't win, how their heart is in it. And that predicates love to me. But it's tough to detect that. I wish we could detect the heart. We'll put every recruit that we have on a heart monitor and see where they are. It would help us tremendously in recruiting the heart.
There's head coach Coach Prime Sanders. Buffalo's getting ready for number 23, UCLA on Saturday at the Rose Bowl in Los Angeles. We continue with Dave Newport from CU Sustainability. Hey, tell us about your partnership with DTG and what that's all about here and how that applies to what we're talking about.
Well, DTG has a product that we're using, as I said, for mobile refrigeration, which complements all of the systemic work we're doing on sustainability. And that allows us to be agile, reduce carbon, and decrease costs while improving customer service. So, I mean, it's full service.
All right. So, here at the University of Colorado, we're always thinking in this regard. And kind of the shows with the planning of the indoor practice facility and what we're thinking about in terms of the solar panels. What does this look like moving forward here at Colorado, maybe with Sports International?
Well, international sports, this is a place, again, where CUAD is really a leader. Rick George, our AD, has signed the UN Sports for Climate Action Framework. We're the first college in the United States to do that. Wow. And as now a global leader, alongside FIFA, UEFA, USIOC, and so forth, at really trying to contribute globally with these major international sports brands to decrease the carbon in sports, all sports, college and professional, obviously, amateur, and be a model to inspire fans to do so in their home, work, and play. And the multiplier effect of sports in general is unrivaled, and Rick knows that and is helping us lead the planet.
Dave, it really is fascinating here with Ralphie's Green Stampede, which you've talked about before, with the IPF, with the panels. I mean, Colorado's right in the middle of this thing and really leading the nation, isn't it?
It is, and has for some time now. Yeah. I mean, the first time I ever met Rick, I said, hey, what about X and Y? And that took about 30 seconds. He said, do it. and we've been doing it ever since. He gets it. He saw that there's no downside. There's only upside to this. It's leadership for the campus and for sports.
Fantastic. So on Saturday game day, thank Rick George and those panels on top of the IPF for your cold drink. Dave, good to see you.
Nice to see you, sir.
All right. Dave Newport, CU Sustainability. Coming up next here in the Buffalo Stampede, we're going to talk a little basketball. Hoops just around the corner.
44% on third down. Sets, throws, crossing pattern caught by Travis Hunter. Spins away from the defender to the 10-yard line, to the 5, to the end zone. I'm telling you, he is not human. He's from another world. Travis Hunter, after missing 3 games, he caught it on a crossing pattern. He spun a man into the ground and then took it to the end zone of 24 yards.
I know we're all thinking football, but basketball is just around the corner here at the University of Colorado, back at the Buffalo Stampede. Voice of the boss, Mark Johnson. In fact, this weekend, the men and the women both have an exhibition game. The women at 1 o'clock versus Adams State, the men in the evening against Metro State. And just to add a basketball season, we hooked up with a couple of players. Let's start on the men's side. Luke O'Brien, one of the veterans for Colorado. All right, you've been in practice now for a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Give us a feel of how things are going.
It's very competitive, that's for sure. A lot of guys, wanting to compete every day. The freshmen coming in here trying to compete all the time. But I love it. We have a lot of mistakes, obviously, but we're learning really well, and I just love the team so far.
Being an upperclassman, what changes for you? Responsibility, taking more weight on you? What all changes?
Yeah, definitely a leadership role. I got to be more vocal. Got to coach the younger guys, making sure they're in the right spots and stuff, being encouraging, whatever they need. So it's just more like not a mental strain, but just a mental piece for me to just always be locked in for practice every day. So.
As you've grown as a player, I'm not talking physical. I'm talking about up here now. You and I had conversations in the past. Is there more of a comfort level and understanding, confidence? I'm here and I know what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, I felt like last year throughout, like I said, I talked to you about it, where I just felt like I didn't really belong up until junior year, and I finally got that confidence piece. So now it's like I want that confidence to kind of rub off on other guys, because I know how much work it takes to be mentally prepared for the college game. So I'm 100% there right now. So
the young fellas, there's a lot of talent there.
Oh yeah,
give us a quick scouting report on those guys.
I love all of them because they compete, like I said, and they want to learn. They want to get better. But I just love all the guys. They just had a great personality with them. We played against some vets versus rooks yesterday. It didn't go so well for them, but they wanted to compete, and that's all that matters, really. So yeah.
I'd have to think too. You got KJ and Tristan and you. You guys have been together a long time. Played a lot of basketball.
Yes.
There's a comfort level that comes from that, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, our chemistry is really well. I mean, me and Vaughn, we were roommates last year, and we got another year together too, so we got that. But no, our chemistry level now, I think it's 3 years for most of these guys together. It's rock solid now. It just kind of reminds me of my freshman year with Ken, Ev, Deshaun, Dallas, Maddox, all those guys. So yeah, Jariah.
Well, he's an upperclassman. He's going to be leading the Buffaloes as the season's just about to get underway.
Luke O'Brien, he's from the metro area out of Columbine High School, going to be a big-time contributor for the Buffaloes. Great defensive player, great rebounder, energy guy for the Buffaloes. Again, they've got Metro State coming in on Saturday night for an exhibition game. The win we played earlier today against Adams State, who's going to be a big contributor for them is Quay Miller.
All right, Sweet 16 a year ago. What does that do for your offseason? Does it make you hungrier? Does it make you want to work harder? What does it do for a team?
Yeah, for me, it made me want to rest.
Is that right?
Yeah, because the Sweet 16 games, building up to that, it was just really hard, mentally and physically. So I think everyone just needed a really long and nice break, so we didn't have to hear the coaches, we didn't have to hear any outside noise. Just take a time to really reset our mental.
And I was talking to Jalen Sharon, and she said, we got a taste of the Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
I want a taste of what comes after that, though.
Yeah.
Same for you?
Definitely. I think that just building on, from not this year, last year, going to the tournament first round, going to the Sweet 16, I just think that the whole team knows, okay, for that to be our pattern, we have to go more. We have to do more. We know we can do more, just because it's been shown we can do more each year as we grow.
There's such a great veteran nucleus, yourself, Frida, Jalen, go on down the line, Kendall. There's players that have played a lot of basketball. That helps to get this season underway, because you can jump into this thing at full speed, can't you? And then bring the younger players along.
Right. That's what I was saying the other day in an interview. It's not just JR coaching now. Yeah, she has amazing coaching staff, but now she has me coaching, Kendall, Frida, Tamia. There's a lot of vets that can say things that JR doesn't need to say, so JR can focus on what actually needs to get done. We can take care of the nuances, but the bigger things that's JR can focus on, we have the rest.
Is that something that you as veterans talk about, or does it just happen naturally?
I think that it's just something that happens naturally. Jalen's a natural leader, Frida's a natural leader, Kendall's a natural leader, and I think that just because we have our own different ways of leading, it just works together so well. We all lead in different ways, so we all just work off one another instead of one person taking all the responsibility.
The job of every player when one season ends is to get better for the next season. What did you work on? What are you improving on?
Like I said, I just really took a lot of rest. I had to reset. I think that I worked on my three so I could be great at that. Yeah. I had, Tamia had told me, you're not great at anything yet. You do a lot of things well, but you're just not great. So I just took that to heart, and I was like, okay, well, help me be great. What can I do? And I just think that she just watched my film and helped me get better at things that I needed to work on.
So during the off season, she got better at shooting threes and taking naps.
Yep. Exactly.
Quay Miller is going to be an anchor for the Colorado women's basketball team this season.
Great to start talking hoops. Quay Miller, Luke O'Brien. Again, the men's and women's team have their exhibition games on Saturday at the Event Center. Speaking of Saturday, we're going to be on the road with football at the Rose Bowl as Colorado takes on UCLA. That's a 5:30 kickoff in Los Angeles. Gary and I are going to hit the air at 3:30 on the Colorado Football Network with the pregame show. That'll wrap up this week's Buffalo Stampede. I'm voice of the bus, Mark Johnson. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next week.